Oh, yeah. So she can voice it now for her practice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you want me to, Lena? So you can still? Okay. Okay.
Okay. The title of my presentation is a virtual tour of how deaf culture shapes our environment in a Reggio Emilia approach. I'd like to start off by reading this statement here. We want our environment to teach our deaf students how to value their hands, eyes, and their right to an accessible education. For the next few slides, For the next few slides, I'm going to teach you exactly a little bit about deaf culture, as well as how students learn to value their eyes, hands, and their language. This first picture here is from the Albuquerque preschool. And the first thing I want to teach you about deaf culture is that because we use American Sign Language as our primary language, and it's a very visual language, we like to have a very open space in our environment. And as you can see here, the kids can see completely, can see all of the space around them. And they can access the language from each other more easily. If we were to have things in the way or blocking the view, our deaf children would be confined to what they can see right in front of them. And again, in our world, we like to have a much bigger space to be able to see the play and encourage interactions. And again, sorry, I was going to say something else. And the openness teaches our children to value their eyes. If I can see it, I can access it. I will fit that in there a little bit more neatly. This is some of the furniture that we prefer in our classrooms. The shelf here on the left, as you can see, has no backing to it. And that really encourages our children to see the play that is happening through the shelf. And they have to learn how to use their eyes. They must learn how to look and see beyond what's just in front of them, but to also see what the play and the stories that are happening on the other side of the shelf. The table here to the right, we do prefer round tables over square or rectangular. And again, a round table is, specifically in deaf culture, it's very comfortable for us visually to be seated at a round table to communicate and use American Sign Language. For example, American Sign Language we use a lot of our hands, our arms, our shoulders, and our body. We shift ourselves from side to side to be able to communicate with one another. So a round table really provides that access for our students to understand how to communicate more easily. And it is actually much more comfortable to sit and communicate at a table of this shape than it would be at a rectangular or square table. For example, a square table or a rectangular table would seat two students side by side. And in order to communicate, they would physically have to turn their bodies to the left, and the student would have to physically turn themselves to the right to make that, to be able to communicate using American Sign Language, and likely they would bump hands, they would bump arms. The proximity is very difficult to make those, to be able to communicate to each other. And so ideally, to really make sure that we can see each other, we seat students at tables such as this.